So welcome back. We are going to see through some bullshit tickets from Sreen. So I haven't watched this video yet. 25 mysteries and plot holes the Dragon Ball series left hanging. So if we can actually find a plot hole, what's not a plot hole, we will explain it, yes.
Dragon Ball has had a mainstay presence ever since it debuted in the mid-80s. With all those years of content though, it's pretty much questions. We've rounded up a Super Saiyan long list of plot holes and mysteries in Dragon Ball just for you. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to get all the latest from
until he knows he can beat Goku.
Yeah, right! Like that's gonna happen!
In Dragon Ball, Goku and Krillin come across a girl who can change her personality with a sneeze.
Yeah, right! Like
In your feed every day.
how long you gonna keep training for anyway?
He won't stop training until he knows he can beat Goku.
Yeah, right! Like that's gonna happen!
In Dragon Ball, Goku and Krillin come across a girl who can change her personality in the early arcs, but she totally disappeared from the timeline, save for some flashbacks.
Here we go. The creator forgot about. Sure, it's a plot hole in the show, but everyone knows what it is.
Dr. Gero, the creator of the Red Ribbon Army and the androids themselves. The fact about Launch is that her power is never really explained. In Dragon Ball Z, we're introduced to the androids. One of them, number 20, is actually Dr. Gero, the creator of the Red Ribbon Army and the androids themselves. You may remember the Red Ribbon Army from the original Dragon Ball sagas, but if you do, you'll remember that Dr. Gero wasn't the creator of the army or the androids. It was Dr. Flap.
Now, Goku, you know very well the giant gorilla monster lurks about during the full moon.
Not to worry, my boy. We can fix it so this little nuisance of yours never grows back.
Part of the early lore in Dragon Ball was the fact that the Saiyans came with tails. They were removed, but
Here it comes. I bet you it's about Trunks and Gordon. About being born without tails. And if this goes to Super, so it's a Pam and that. And Bola.
it was shown that they would grow back in time. Goku's tail has
And about Gohan's tail never regrowing after the Saiyan saga. Because the creator has to draw the tails and having difficulty in the fighting part. It just took too much time drawing the tails. So yeah. So that's not plot hole. It is in the show, but it's not in whatever.
Ken, Bula, or Pan with a tail. In Dragon Ball, there was a world martial arts tournament which saw the villain Piccolo grow to the size of a giant. It was quite the spectacle as there was flying and superhuman strength. But the Z Fighters stopped competing in tournaments and this allowed for Mr. Satan to become champion by the time the Cell games happened. But no one seemed
To be honest, he had a big, massive time because Goku and that don't really compete in tournaments, so around sell out after some. So yeah, so all the Saiyan saga when Raditz comes in, they don't have a tournament anyway that time frame, and they go to Namek after that, so they can't go to the tournament anyway whatsoever. And then they come back whilst Goku is still in the yard trap and the other people are just training. So yeah, it's just a big time gap anyway.
to have remembered any of the over-the-top matches from the past. Everyone thinks the videos are doctored or acts like they never witnessed.
Because they don't believe it. They don't. Sad to explain that one. But they just don't want to admit that they are actually doing it. Because they don't believe it. And especially with Mr. Satan. egging them on, telling them that it's all smoke and mirrors and stuff. So obviously they can breed the champion over Goku and that. Or the just normal people. So if they knew if it were real, they would be terrified. So it's one of them things.
The fights. In early Dragon Ball episodes, Goku would turn into a giant ape whenever he looked at the full moon and cause insane amounts of destruction. Master Roshi decided to blow the moon up to prevent this from happening at any World Martial Arts tournament. Kami then eventually restored the moon before it was destroyed again by Piccolo. But the moon came back after that, and we have no idea how it did or who brought it back. The assumption
The moon never gets explained.
is Kami yet again, but for now, this remains a mystery. You know that really
The moon could be classed as a portal. That's it.
annoying moment in the Frieza saga where he states he will destroy the planet in 5 minutes only
Bummer. Over 9,000. But in the summit dub, it's meant to be 8,000. I bet that's what it's going to say.
Vegeta, what did you say his power level is? It's over 9,000!
We all know and love the classic line, "It's over 9,000!" That was Goku's power level during the Saiyan arc, which saw Nappa and Vegeta act as villains. It was actually a mistranslation from the original version, and has since been changed in multiple Funimation dubs. But from that point on, the power levels only went up, with Frieza's being at around 1 million and Goku
So he didn't even correct himself either. He didn't actually say what the thing was meant to be. But whatever. So we got World Tournament.
can't the Namekians do that? Part of the fun in the series is watching all the Z fighters train and seeing them perform their signature moves. But how much easier would things be if they taught each other their own moves? Seriously, if Goku taught everyone how to use instant transmission, things would be a little simpler. Vegeta started the Dragon Ball
Taught their own moves. So Vegeta knows a killer move that they showed to disc. They used it against Gohan when it turned into a great ape. So Killer and Vegeta know it. Goku Kamehameha has been shared between Krillin, Yamcha, and even Tien, and Gohan. And Gohan learned it from Goku. Piccolo, can't he double gang himself? Can't he split himself up like Tien can?
Z series off as one of the two main villains. Since then, Vegeta has slowly grown from villain to hero, but a lot of the Z fighters still showed him resentment over the years. But why? He actually didn't do anything evil. Unlike Nappa, Vegeta didn't kill anyone, didn't blow up any cities, and he's the one who ultimately killed Nappa. I mean, he did sit there and watch Nappa.
So he didn't kill anyone. Then in that second, he kills Nappa. Yeah. So that's where the resentment comes from, probably. Because they're wary of him backstabbing.
Do it all and kind of laughed a bunch. The destruction of planet Vegeta.
And Vegeta was the bigger threat than Nappa. And Vegeta was eventually going to blow up the planet, to be honest, with that Gatling gun. If Goku didn't stop it with a beam struggle. So yeah, there's a lot of things.
Has been a messy story in the franchise. At first, we were told by Raditz the planet was destroyed by a comet. Then it was revealed that Frieza was the one who destroyed it. When Raditz tells Goku this story, he mentions the planet was destroyed 3 years ago, but Frieza destroyed the planet
3 years ago. I guess so.
the day Goku left, and Goku is 20-something by the time Frieza's arc starts. So where on earth does Raditz get 3 years from? Maybe they're Vegeta years. When Goku escapes Namek's destruction,
Yeah. That's obviously odd. Yeah, got nothing. Trying to think of something. I'll figure back to where's what products movie was not thingy, but would have made no difference.
he tells Trunks that he found a Saiyan pod and used that to escape instead of Frieza's ship. But wait, this doesn't line up with what we saw in the past. Instead, we saw Goku watching the destruction happen from the planet. So we got two very different versions of the same event. Or maybe he just moved really fast. Towards the end of Dragon Ball Z, Kid
What is he on about there?
does Raditz get 3 years from? Maybe they're Vegeta years. When Goku escapes Namek's destruction, he tells Trunks that he found a Saiyan pod and used that to escape instead of Frieza's ship. But
So Goku tells him, I use save.
wait, this doesn't line up with what we saw in the past. Instead, we saw Goku watching the destruction happen from the planet. So we got two very different versions of the same event. Or maybe he just moved really fast. Towards the end,
Was it shown flying towards the Freezer spaceship? Oh. And then he crashed into the Yaja Tower. Or is that just Team Foster? And him bits. Could be confusing too.
end of Dragon Ball Z, Kid Buu actually blows up the Earth. Vegeta and Goku ended up
Yes, it blows up the Earth.
working on a way to get the Namekian Dragon Balls to restore Earth and its population. But why hasn't planet wishing been a thing before? Planet Namek was destroyed, Mass was planet Vegeta, home of the Saiyan.
The year time frame. Start bringing someone back to life. So it probably won't have worked. Or beyond the Dragon's power. Who knows? We're the same one anyway. They're stronger than Earthlings. And they probably on the Namek, they probably would have wished for the planet to be back, and then wished for Piccolo to be back, and then probably wished for the Dragon Balls to reappear on Earth, so they can make the wish to repopulate the Earth with the Earth's Dragon Balls. But with the Saiyans, that would have been a lot harder. Because there's no Dragon Balls on planet Vegeta, as we know. So we don't know if there's Dragon Balls on there or not. And there's that 1 year time frame.
Saiyans. When a character dies in Dragon Ball, they get sent to the spirit realm and from there, an interpretation of heaven and hell. When Goku went there, he was quickly told to train with King Kai instead of Raditz. But we also learned that Vegeta and Frieza are stronger than King Kai, so what's stopping all these dead villains from overthrowing
I'll listen to that, yes, take it. Something about Raditz.
They get sent to the spirit realm and from there, an interpretation of heaven and hell. When Goku went there, he was quickly told to train with King Kai instead of Raditz. But we also learned that
Got nothing on that. That's a filler episode, isn't it?
Vegeta and Frieza are stronger than King Kai, so what's stopping all these dead villains from overthrowing the Kais? In Super, we learn that there are other
the big why did none overcome the Kais? It's because of Pycon. He's stronger than them. And he got killed by Frieza at some point. Or Frieza's men, I don't know. One or the other. So Pycon would have been dead before Frieza's dead. So that means he would have been there before Ginyu was there. And all the rest. And probably would have been there before Raditz. Or just after. Who knows? So it's either Raditz and Nappa would have been there before Pycon, or Pycon would have been before them too. And he would have kept him in check, like it did in that filler one, where he took out Cell and King Cold and all that. So yeah, so that's not a plot.
Their universes living parallel to the one the main arc takes place in. But if there are all these amazing fighters out there in the multiverse, how come none of them came to Earth's aid during the Kid Buu crisis? Surely the Kais could have pleaded to
Because it's not their mess. They have their own messes in their own universes. You don't know what's going on in their universe at the time. And the Angels credit restrictions not like even going to Chompa's universe. So there you go.
Whis or even Beerus if they dared, or hire Hit to help. It's explicitly stated that Saiyans need oxygen to survive. Goku is given this piece of advice from King Kai as he learns
It's about the space. It's obvious. It's obvious where this is going.
that Frieza himself can survive the vacuum of space while he wouldn't. But later on, we see Vegeta transforming into a Super Saiyan on an asteroid. Goku and Beerus have a battle outside.
Have you noticed they all got auras around them? In every single scene in space. Even Pan has an aura all the way around her. So that could be the thing what's helping them to breathe in space. Or in the atmosphere.
Earth's atmosphere, and Bardock fights Frieza in deep space.
Yeah, it's not proof of him breathing in. Yeah, there's no aura around him. So that just messed me up, isn't it? But then again, it is a movie.
In a movie tie-in.
There's no reason for me to keep the Earth intact. This world and its creatures will serve this
And Bardock was way before anything, so they might not have thought about it.
galaxy equally well as dust.
Super kicks off with a bang with the introduction of Beerus. He's a pretty sour individual who blows up planets when he feels just a little bit angry. He defeats Goku with relative ease and is generally seen as the most powerful being in the universe. He even stated he's the reason there's no dinosaurs on Earth. But wait, in Dragon Ball Super,
Yes, that's obviously a mistake. They want to try to connect Beerus to everything.
see a dinosaur chasing Trunks and Gohan. Not only that, but dinosaurs are prevalent in Dragon Ball and in Z. In Dragon Ball Z, future Trunks emerged from the hyperbolic time chamber with longer hair, while Vegeta's remains the same. Turns out the hair length of any pure
There's a half-blood. Still got the human inside him. Or human genes. So it's saying about Gohan's there. That's been through different transformations. Goku's stayed the same all the way through that. Krill's hair changed. It grows. Facial hair grows. Gohan's the main thing because he's a half-blood as well, same as Trunks. So you can point the same thing at Gohan.
pure-blooded Saiyan never changes. Seeing as Trunks is half Saiyan, his is free to grow out. But in Super, when Goku and Vegeta go into the time chamber, they emerge with beards. In Super, Goku
You don't see that King Vegeta got born with a beard. Yeah, sure. Even in the Broly movie, and Paragus' changes color and grows out a bit. So yeah. So it's not really much of a plot, all that one.
Who needs the power of 6 Saiyans to ascend to the level of Super Saiyan God? Thankfully, half Saiyans
Doesn't matter if they're all the same, it's just the same gene.
work in this ritual, and so does the unborn.
It's got the same gene. Can you?
Has done over the years sort of puts a big blemish on his track record.
This is it! I finally reached the limit of this power! That's too bad! I give you all the credit, Lord Beerus! You're as strong as they come!
When Beerus lands on Earth, it doesn't take long before he completely owns Goku in their first battle. Angry that events have ruined their party, Bulma begins yelling at Beerus, only to be slapped by the god. But Bulma, who has had 0 days of combat training her whole life, somehow didn't need to go to the hospital for broken bones after getting a strong hit from a destruction god. Even luckier is that Bulma didn't just die. Dragon Ball Z ended with a
Beerus could have hoarded his energy. Oh, sure. I don't know. Could be anything. She could have had essential being after off screen to recover. Don't know how essential beans work. They could have even grown it. They might. It was stated that Gohan might have been able to grow his arm back from essential being. The future Gohan. So who knows? So it would have worked on Inhuman because Krillin can use it. So yeah.
peaceful saga that teased a martial arts tournament on the horizon. Then Super came along. Curiously though, it seemed to question whether or not the final moments of Z ever happened. The epilogue takes place
That's pointless. It's not even being written yet.
work incredibly hard to achieve it. Vegeta's training took quite a while and he was full of rage while doing it. But in Super, all that doesn't seem to matter when it comes to kale, cauliflower, and cat.
Everyone hated it. But it was already powerful enough to be able to go Super Saiyan, but they just didn't know how to go Super Saiyan.
Horrible. You'd think that a prince who is proud of his heritage and angry that there are so few Saiyans left would have mentioned a brother before. What's even crazier is that in Super
He got sent to a planet. So yeah. He was a weakling. He was no use. And probably Vegeta thought he might have died. Because he's weak. So yeah. What will point be mentioning him if he might not even be alive?
Super, he's entirely absent again, aside from a quick mention in Battle of Gods.
And he gets mentioned in Super. Sometimes.
Stop! You still owe us a fair fight! A blast that big will destroy the Earth!
One of the most well-known sagas in all of Dragon Ball is the Buu saga, and despite its epic narrative, there's one confusing plot hole in the early portions of the massive arc. Majin Buu's power consists of eating people by turning them into candy, but the show plays fast and loose with exactly who dies and who doesn't from this. Case in point, Vegito was able to retain all of his powers, but Dabura and Buu himself were not. One of the most common wishes
Glossed over that.
into candy. But the show plays fast and loose with exactly who dies and who doesn't from this. Case in point, Vegito was able to retain all of his powers, but Dabura and Boo himself were not. One of the most
It was digested. It was eaten. Was gluttons and stuff were absorbed. Two different things. So if Vegito got eaten, and he would have been down the digestive.
common wishes in all of Dragon Ball history is to revive the dead. But the show is never consistent on where the revived soul goes. Sometimes they go right back to the place they died, like Vegeta on Namek, but other times King Yama's palace
It's whatever is convenient for the show. So in Dragon Ball, when Krillin died to Tambourine, and Master Roshi died to Demon King Piccolo, he got placed in like a coffin or casket, a capsule, and then they got revived, and they appeared at the coffins. But then the wishes after to bring them back alive again, they seem to just appear out of nowhere. We are not reviving where the body went. So the body just disappears and then reappears somewhere else.
and an escort from Baba or Kami is the path home.
You can never destroy what I am, friend.
You. What are you?
I am the hope of the universe.
That's it for now. Entire Dragon Ball franchise. Does any of it
So I hope I did all of them. What's not a plot? That I missed about one or two, or didn't explain. Well, then what could have been explained? I probably didn't. I probably don't know about it. Jackfruit. The comments before was the rest of this and got pissed. This guy doesn't know that movies aren't canon, and I see Vegeta says that Saiyans can grow beards and mustaches, evidence he is also King Vegeta. Oh, but he's not canon. The movies aren't canon. And he mentions King Vegeta in the same comment. And you get this one, the definition of plot. Seriously, you're questioning what happened to the tournament at the end of C, as it isn't mentioned in Super. All while soaring clips of much older Goten, Trunks, and Pat. It hasn't happened yet. Sugar Avatar historian fact check your script for starting a video on Dragon Ball. There were just many mistakes in this video. No hate, just my honest which you may find is contradicting each other. Trunks has a different story because he comes from a different alternate timeline. comes from the future timeline at the first start. Do you even want to... Right, your plot holes can be answered real quick. Viewers will sleeping it as it is also not allowed for ghosts to interfere. Why did Robert get so much screen time? I just want to know. Bigger plot hole, how come almost more than the ages? What signs that? Over video, the theory one. G didn't mention his brother because he was known as an embarrassment to the family. Hence why Vegeta's father banished him. He was a weakling. That was the main thing. He probably... Tit Tabo probably was classed as a low class scene. So that's where the embarrassment might come from. So that means if Tabo was a low class scene and he came from the king, whilst Vegeta was a high elite, that means Raditz could have been a mid tier or low class. Depends. And this is the most domestic launches actually still seen in bits. The Dragon Ball Z like in a barge and King Wars Goku and Vegeta fight. Dr. Flap was an anime filler only character. His existence is not canon to the story, so it's not really a plot. So with Dr. Flap is the Alpha Land, the Muscle Tower. According to the scenes. Because doesn't he create Android 8? And Android 8 and Metal Trollitron or whatever his name is. Torian is explained that tails are recessive genes, so that is why Chunks, Goten, and Pan do not have a tail. Okay, can't be asked to draw the tails. The martial arts tournament is the past. It's not televised, so only a few people actually present witness of the incredible feats Goku and the others are capable. And so he's saying that only the audience know about Goku and that, with the powers. And just said Kami probably restored the moon again after the same threat passed. Yes, or you can consider that we as spectators are not viewing the fight in actual real time, and it is slowed down for us to be able to see their rapid movements. It's called suppressing your power. How can Superman not break everything he touches? They can, I guess let's talk about Bulma and God of Beerus. They can throw the Dragon Ball since they created them. Don't know what that's for. I was not teaching your techniques to other people a plot hole. Maybe they tried already and were unable to learn. There's another technique that teaches someone else. It was the the fusion dance. Goku teaches Goten Chunks, and Piccolo knows it. And then Piccolo and Goku teaches Vegeta in the Broly movie. Vegeta did not kill anyone and did not damage to Earth because they stopped him from doing so by force. Killed Nappa. This is dumb mistranslation, not plot. It's a storytelling technique used in cliffhangers to create your TV genre. The first shot to do this. You see, he's talking about freezer 5 minutes in with the planet blowing up. Oh, he's not using a wish plot hole. Nemesis decided to look for a new planet, and who would wish planet Vegeta back? Saiyans were mostly evil. Because dead people do not keep their bodies, they just souls. Only very few people keep their body or by not request. So he's saying that Krillin, the first time he died, didn't get to keep his body. And then later on in the show, he gets to keep his body when he dies. Must do to train with King Khan. Because he's in this, whatever. In the Bohawk Kids teamed up with Yamcha trying to beat Kid Buu in the death. Because there is not an easy way to travel to a literal different universe, and besides, it's not their problem since it's not their universe, not a problem. Vegeta's training was anime for only, and Goku and Bardock feats can be explained by them not being in actual space but still within the limit of atmosphere. As the Saiyans are more resilient, they are able to survive. Resilient. This is the first actual inconsistent you mentioned, which could be explained by him missing some of the multiplier. They have never stated that their beards regular. Remember Nappa? Goku and Vegeta probably did not take the time to shave this time. Nappa had hair, and he went bald. And Vegeta is righteous now at the moment of the ritual. Beerus suppressed his power, obviously. If he wanted to kill her, he would have done so. Similar takes place between the end of the Buu saga and the end of the. They are from a different universe and evolve differently. They seem to be strong. Let's talk about this about Kale and Khalifa and the rest of the Saiyans cover. Vegeta seems to think of his brother as a nuisance and a disgrace. It's implied that Vegeta's sheer power that was far beyond Buu's made possible for him to keep him conscious and free to move. Goku got revived instead and King Khan because he had his body at the time. They get revived where his body is.
Point, Vegeta was able to retain all of his powers, but Dabura and Buu himself were not.
Anyways, that's obviously gonna be another video. So hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment down below if you want to see it after. 40 minutes here, 10 minutes. It probably would have been 30 minutes if they didn't read that comment. So, hope you enjoyed and in a bit.